You're being told a lie that's costing Swiss companies millions every single year. They tell you that putting solar on your corporate building will get you a pathetic 3% return. It's a convenient number, isn't it? One that keeps your business chained to unpredictable energy markets and painful electricity bills. But what if that number was a carefully constructed myth? What if the real return was so high it could turn your biggest operational headache into your most valuable asset? Stay with us as we uncover the secret they don't want you to know. For any executive in Switzerland, the quarterly energy bill is a constant source of stress. It's a number that just keeps climbing, eating into your profit margins and forcing you into impossible corners. Do you absorb the cost? Do you risk angering tenants and clients by passing it on? This is the reality for thousands of business leaders trapped in a system that feels rigged. You look up at your huge empty rooftop and have to wonder, isn't there a better way? You hear whispers about solar, about sustainability, about taking back control. But then comes the official advice from a consultant's report or a friendly warning from your energy provider. Solar is a nice idea, but the numbers just don't work for a business like yours. You'll be lucky to see a 3% return. It's a statement designed to shut down the conversation, but it's a lie, and it's a lie designed to keep you paying. So where does this 3% figure even come from? It's not just pulled out of thin air. It's calculated, but with a very specific and misleading set of assumptions. The math often assumes you'll sell most of the power you generate back to the grid at wholesale prices, which can be disappointingly low. It glosses over the massive savings you get by simply not buying expensive electricity during peak hours. And it conveniently ignores the powerful financial incentives the Swiss government has put in place specifically to make commercial solar a smart investment. This story sticks around because it protects the status quo. Traditional energy suppliers need you to be dependent. The more power you buy, the safer their revenue. A building that generates its own energy is a direct threat to that model. So, the myth of the low ROI becomes a powerful tool for inaction. It creates just enough doubt to keep thousands of Swiss corporate buildings from unplugging from the old system. Yes, there are real challenges. Upfront costs and cloudy days are valid concerns, but they are just small pieces of a much bigger and much more profitable puzzle. Let's call him Marcus. He's the CEO of a mid-sized logistics company just outside Zurich. His building is a hub of activity, but it's also an energy black hole. Every year, his electricity costs take a bigger and bigger bite out of his profits. He's a smart guy. He's tried everything from LED lighting to motion sensors, but it's never enough. The grid prices just keep going up. Like many of his peers, Marcus looked into solar a couple of years back. The proposal he got was depressing. It was full of complex charts, but the summary was clear. An estimated ROI of just under 4% over 25 years, a dead end. He filed the report away, the dream of energy independence buried under a pile of discouraging numbers. He felt that familiar anxiety of being at the mercy of forces he couldn't control. He saw his competitors in the same boat, all complaining about the bills but feeling resigned to paying them. It felt like an unsolvable problem. But then a colleague in Germany who couldn't stop bragging about his company's solar investment planted a seed of doubt. Was he missing something? That doubt started to grow. Marcus dug out the old solar proposal and read it again, this time with a more critical eye. The numbers felt incomplete. The report was obsessed with the price he'd get for selling surplus power, but barely mentioned savings from the power he wouldn't have to buy. Swiss electricity prices are complex, but one thing is clear: buying from the grid is expensive. He realized the proposal framed the investment like he was building a mini power plant just to sell energy, not as a tool to slash his own operating costs. So he started making calls, not to solar salespeople, but to financial analysts, tax advisors, and independent energy consultants. He dug into government databases, and a whole new world of information opened up. He learned about federal programs like the High One-Off Remuneration, HEIV, which can reimburse up to 60% of the investment costs for certain systems. he discovered cantonal-level incentives in places like Zurich that could be stacked on top of federal subsidies. He read about new laws passed in 2024 and 2025 designed to streamline the process for existing buildings and even make solar mandatory on new ones. This wasn't some niche, feel-good project anymore. This was a national strategic priority. The aha moment came when Marcus built his own spreadsheet. He wasn't an energy expert, but he was an expert on his own business. He plugged in his real electricity consumption, his peak usage times, and the actual grid prices he was paying. Then he started adding the truth. First, the direct savings. By making his own power during the day, he could slash his reliance on the grid, saving him the high retail price of electricity. This alone was a huge number, way more significant than the feed-in tariff. Then he added the subsidies. The one-time payments from the government weren't just a small bonus. They dramatically lowered the initial investment, completely changing the ROI calculation from day one. He factored in the tax deductions, which let him write off the investment costs. But it didn't stop there. He discovered that buildings with quality solar installations see a real increase in their property value. They become more attractive to tenants who care about sustainability and predictable costs. He even learned about new, local electricity communities, a framework that would let him sell any true excess power directly to his neighbors at a fair price, bypassing the low rates from the big utility companies. When Marcus finished, he leaned back, stunned. The 3% figure wasn't just wrong, it was a joke. His own conservative estimate, using the real numbers, showed a potential return on investment of over 12%, with the system paying for itself in just over 6 years. For the next 2 decades, the building wouldn't just be saving money, it would be a profit center. The secret wasn't secret at all, it was all public information, just hidden in plain sight, obscured by an outdated, self-serving story. Marcus didn't wait. Armed with his new spreadsheet, he got the project approved by his board unanimously. The installation was faster and smoother than he'd ever imagined. Within months, the panels on his roof were silently turning sunlight into cash. The change was immediate. The first quarterly energy bill was a fraction of what it used to be. The constant, low-level anxiety about energy costs? Gone. Replaced by a sense of control. His employees felt it too. A sense of pride in working for a company that was investing in the future. He even marketed his building's green credentials, which helped attract new, forward-thinking clients. The building was no longer a passive, expensive liability. It was a dynamic, high-performing asset. It was generating clean energy, saving the company hundreds of thousands of francs, and sending a powerful message. Marcus hadn't just cut an expense. He had fundamentally changed the financial DNA of his business. He had turned a drain into a powerhouse. Marcus's story isn't a one-off. It's a path available to every corporate leader in Switzerland who's tired of being a hostage to rising energy bills. The 3% lie has held the industry back for far too long. The truth is, a well-planned solar investment is one of the smartest financial decisions a Swiss company can make today. But you don't have to build your own financial models from scratch. You don't have to spend weeks wading through confusing government websites. Our mission is to give you the real numbers. We offer transparent, personalized ROI calculations based on your specific building and energy use. We'll guide you through every available subsidy and tax incentive to make sure you maximize your return. For decades, Swiss executives have been told to accept crushing energy bills as just a cost of doing business. They've been sold a false choice: your profits or sustainability. The story of commercial solar in Switzerland proves this is a lie. The truth is that they are two sides of the same coin. By embracing solar, you seize control of your biggest operational cost. You enhance your brand, increase your property value, and insulate your business from the shocks of a volatile energy market. You lead. The Swiss solar market is set to grow exponentially, with a national target to supply a huge portion of our electricity by 2050. This isn't a fringe movement, it's the future of energy in this country. The question is no longer if corporate buildings will go solar, but when. The leaders who act now who see past the myths and grab the real opportunity are the ones who will guide their companies into a more profitable, resilient, and sustainable future. The power is, quite literally, waiting on your rooftop.